Okay, let's see if anybody shows up. And nobody's here. So I'm going to have a cigarette. Hello, hello. Is anybody here? It shows people here, but I don't see any chat. I don't have a chat thing. Hang on. Oh my goodness. What could be wrong? Okay, now I see the chat, but it's kind of like covering me up, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm back. And I'm having a cigarette, so nobody watch. I know, I see you guys now, but I had to like pull up a separate screen because it's not showing up where it's supposed to. So I'm going to move you over here where I can watch. Yeah, my screen was just blank. So then I hit on the side, it said pop-up chat, so I hit that. So the other stream is closed. It's just, okay, nobody watch me have a cigarette. Oh no, Frank. Yes, I'm a bad influence on everybody. It's what I do. It's what I'm proud of. I'm like the person that your mother warned you about, you know? If you do this, you're going to be like her. That's me. That's my whole object in life. Nobody watch me smoke. Okay? But those are fun people. Exactly. Life's short. You might as well have fun. Nope, I don't. I could quit, but I would have to want to quit. And I don't particularly want to quit right now. So that's the way it is. Welcome back. Yeah, I did set up a Patreon. I don't know if anybody wants to do it. I got Dan signed up and Jesse and Candy, so that was really sweet of them. Did any of the tour show up or no? I took the extension off when I was messing with it, so I can't do it again now. Hi, Slippery Fish. Okay. And then I probably showed you like I got stuff that I just threw out of the way in the hallway, wet rugs and my vacuum and shit like that. So my house is just, it's depressing. The one tank needs a good vacuum. Yeah, it does. All of them. Like I said, I usually do my my water changes, but instead of doing water changes, I've been doing water cleanup in my house. So, but leave it to Bob to point that out. Bob's good at that. So, anybody have anything exciting going on? All the way till I sat down. That's kind of what I thought. I'd probably hit the cord when I sat down. And once it unplugged, the camera wouldn't come back on again without starting another stream. So that was it. And hey, Ashley, I don't know if I said hi to you earlier. And Soggy Pits. You were ignoring me. The turtles I've had for 12 years, Dan. When I got them, they were the size of a quarter. And I ordered them online and I got 4. And they came in one of those little styrofoam fishing tubs. You know, those ones that you get worms in. There was 4 little turtles in that, and 2 of them were dead when they got there. And these 2, they were real weak. Their heads were like rolling and stuff like that when I picked them up, but I managed to save them. And now they is big. That's Stretch and Mortimer. Waiting for your acras and angelfish to breed. Nice. Yeah, they were the size of a U.S. quarter when I got them. Now they're quite large. Oh, nice. I would love to get some of those puffers, Soggy. Hey, Fish Tropic. And Priscilla, hi. Oh, nice. So you wouldn't even have to pay shipping. That's awesome. That is totally awesome. Those are those Scoot and Fruity puffers. Hi, Ty. Your surprise spawn of Cory eggs are doing good. You were able to save 6. That's good. That's really good. I've got some that community breed, but there isn't really anything in the tanks with them to eat them. I've got some pepper Corys in a tub by themselves, and I keep pulling babies out of them, out of the tub. I mean, just continually. There's 3 adults in there, and I think last week I pulled 8 babies out, and then I noticed there's some more little tiny ones in there again. And then I've got the one tank I showed you where you can't really see anything but plants. That's got some pygmy Corys in it that also there's babies all the time. Hello, alluring bettas. Hi, V-Stag. Anyone know what coolie loaches love to eat most? I've never had coolie loaches before. Does anybody else in here have them? And yeah, hi everybody joining. I know I'm missing some people. They eat anything? Is Real trying to breed electric blue acara or regular blue acara? Both of them are beautiful. Shrimp pellets? That makes sense, yeah. I think you can put them in with goldfish and they'd eat the goldfish food and stuff too, from what I've heard. I don't have any in with my goldfish, but I've had a couple people tell me that I should get some to put in with my goldfish. Noodle and Toodle. That's funny. When I was about, hi Johan. Should I tell a story? It's about fish names. Some of you have probably heard it before. When I was about 19, and yes, Bob, I'm going to tell a story. Oh God, yeah, I know. When I was about 19 years old, I wrecked my car. And I was laid up for a little bit because I messed up my back a bit. And my mom brought me a great big fish bowl and 2 fancy goldfish. And one of them was white with a red cap. They were both around us. One of them was white with a red cap, and the other one was all orange. Bob, I'm going to kick your ass. Anyway, so she brought me these 2 goldfish. This is a short story. One was red and one was white with a red cap. Now Bob's ruined it. But I named them Crash and Burn. And that's always been my favorite names for fish. And that was it, Bob. See, short story. Spellbinding. Bob, I'm so going to kick your ass. You are such a horrible troll. And here, I made you blue. I made you blue and you troll me constantly. Ah, this one's for you, Bob. Turn it around. Tell you to have a nice day. Time to ban Bob. Stretch and Mortimer and Crash and Burn. I don't know. When my oldest daughter was in kindergarten, she came home and she told me that she needed to. I might have told you guys this already. I think I might have. Did I tell you guys about when my daughter was in kindergarten? And she was supposed to take something for show and tell? Okay. Candy says no, so I'll tell you. So she needed to take something for show and tell. Oh, God, Bob. She needed to take something for show and tell. So I picked out two of her favorite stuffed animals that I had helped her name. And she's like in her 40s. She's 41 now. And she still tells me that it totally traumatized her as a kid. Because she took these two stuffed animals to school. And one of them was a duck. And we had named it Fup. Like Fup Duck. And the other one was a dragon. And its name was Urasus Dragon. Yeah, Candy, I did that. So, yeah. I'm kind of a bad mother at times. Hi, Deela. Bob is your favorite troll. Urasus Dragon. Yep, Urasus Dragon and Fuck Duck. You're going to use that for D&D? My son plays D&D a lot. When he lived with me, every Saturday night he'd have a bunch of friends over. They'd sit around all night long drinking Mountain Dew and eating Doritos and playing D&D. Your dad sent you to school with a foxtail? Oh, one of the worst ones I heard about is these friends of mine. They had a little girl that was the same age as my oldest daughter. And she took her own little thing to school for show and tell without asking them. She took for show and tell to school. She took a baggie of mommy and daddy's homegrown tobacco to school for show and tell. So that wasn't so good. The teacher called him and told him just come get it. She didn't really do anything. But you got to understand, this was a place, they lived in this little town called Mosier in Oregon. It's in between the Dalles and Hood River in Oregon. And Mosier was founded, there used to be up in the hills where Mosier is, there was a hippie colony in the 60s. And when the colony broke up, everybody settled around there. So that's mostly the people that are there, is from the old hippie colony. So when we always joked around that if they ever took one of those airplanes with the infrared cameras, if they ever flew over Mosier, it'd just light up like a Christmas tree. Yeah, that's show and tell on your parents, Jesse. Yep. But they were lucky the teacher didn't do anything. She just put it in the desk and called them to come get it. Oh, no, you can't take an antique rifle into the school. Oh, yeah, Mosier's kind of a cool little town, but that's how it was formed. So, how did we get on this subject anyway? Hi, JC. Welcome back. I was kind of a bad mother, Ashley. I was kind of naughty. It's like when Megan was in school, my youngest daughter. She brought home this paper and she was supposed to ask me if I was on a desert island and I could only take 2 books with me, what books would they be? And, then she filled it out and I told her that one of them would be, hi, Phoenix. One of them would be like one of those little books on wildlife identification, where you flip the page and all of them have the different animals in the area. And the other one would be the Roadkill Cookbook. So, yeah. Oh, my God. I'll tell you about when Megan was in school, though. She was in the 3rd grade. And I got a call from the school telling me that I needed to go talk to the principal that afternoon. The principal wanted to talk to me. I was like, oh, my God, what did she do? So I go into the school and I sit down across from the principal. And she starts telling me that Megan was telling all of the teachers and, all the kids mostly, that she was half dog. And the kids believed it and the teacher was getting upset about it. So, she was going on and on. I'm sitting there looking at her thinking, oh my God, you called me into school to complain because my daughter has an imagination? Okay. But anyway, so the principal's going on and on about it. And she got done telling me, how the teachers were upset and the kids all believed Megan that she was half dog and da, 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 da. So she got all done and I looked at her and I said, so basically you're telling me that you want me to have a talk with Megan. And she shakes her head, yes, And I said, and you want me to tell her that just because her mother's a bitch doesn't mean she's half dog. And the principal just kind of looked at me and didn't even crack a smile. And I just kind of got my purse and I got up and I went out to the car and I stuck the keys in the ignition and then I started laughing. But the principal didn't think it was funny, but I did. But yeah, that's how bad of a mother I am. I'm a legend. Yeah, right. Oh, I am. I'm terrible. But, it was kind of silly for her to call me into school for that. I mean, I thought Megan had done something really wrong. Not funny, Frank. I'm sorry. I'm a legend in my own mind. Bob, you are the worst troll in the world. Hi, Anthony's fishy friends. What? My mom was a Holy Ghost Bible thumper who is now a crazy cougar? You got to be kidding me, right? You love me lots? I don't know. Oh, Ashley. I'm kind of a crazy old lady. But it's one of those things, where you can call me whatever you want. But if you have a complaint about one of my kids, it better be a good one. Not just that they're telling other kids that they're half dog. Okay, so what's everybody else up to? Speaking of crazy, yeah, I know I'm crazy. Oh, you're talking about Priscilla, aren't you? Oh, hi, Dawn. I didn't see you in there. Now, after that story, I need a cigarette. But if I put the camera over on the rice fish, Bob's going to have a fit. You want some more of my stories? Oh, God. I'm old. I've got a lot of stories. Imagination is the key to joy. That is exactly right, Priscilla. You don't try to kill a kid's imagination. Did you see what autocorrect said I brought to school? I didn't see it. I missed it. Bob's, oh, God, not the rice fish. Just to torture Bob. Yep, yep, yep. You guys want to hear one more story? I've got so many stories I could tell you that would crack you up, but this one wasn't really that funny at the time. I laughed afterwards, but it's like, speaking of Megan, it made me think of it. Megan worked at from the time she was 15 until just about 6 months ago, she worked at McDonald's. So she moved out like last year about this time, got her own apartment and stuff. And she was still working at McDonald's, and it was really, really cold, and she doesn't have a car. So she texted me one night and asked me if I could give her a ride home because it was like way below zero and snow and ice and all that stuff. Is anybody interested in this? I'll tell you anyway. So I go to pick her up, and she's working the late shift. So it's like about 2:00 in the morning. You know, she's closing. She was the closing manager. So I go to pick her up, and it's about 2, and it was really super icy. So I pulled up close to the door at McDonald's, and the lights were off because they were shutting it down. So I was just waiting for her to come out. And I looked over on the road that goes past McDonald's, and I saw a sheriff's car go by. And I saw him look at me and hit the brakes and start to turn in the driveway. So I thought, okay, he's going to come see what I'm doing, right? No big deal. So I turned my radio down, and I got out my wallet and got my driver's license and unrolled my window. And I'm sitting there watching him in my rear view mirror and my side view mirror. And he turned his headlights off. And he pulled up and stopped right behind my truck with his headlights off. And I thought, well, I was thinking to myself, well, that's kind of strange. But, you know, I'm all ready for him. I got my driver's license and everything. And he climbed out of the truck. And he was like talking to, there's a microphone on his collar, you know. And he fucking drew his gun. He pulled his gun out. And he's like talking on his radio and sneaking up behind my truck with his gun drawn. I am not kidding. And I was like sitting there, I put my hands on the steering wheel, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get shot in the McDonald's parking lot. It's going to be on my tombstone. I don't want to die. He knew who he was dealing with. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and I don't think I was even breathing. And he's like talking on his radio and squatted down at the back of my truck with his gun out. I know he was calling for backup. And I'm sitting there, and, you know, I don't want to stick my hands out the window. And I'm watching him in the rearview mirror. I'm seeing what he's doing. But I don't want to stick my hands out in the window or say anything because I didn't want to get shot. I didn't know what to do. You knew the principal. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, my God, Megan, get out here. And about that time, thank God, Megan came to the door and was like, there was 2 kids that were working with her, and they came out first. And they took a step out, and they stared at the cop, and they looked at me, and they looked at the cop. And he kind of straightened up a little bit, but he still got his gun out. And then Megan came out the door, and she had her back to him because she was locking up the door. And she turned around, and he like pointed at the truck, and he said, is he drunk? And Megan was like, what? No, that's my mom. And he just kind of like straightened up and put his gun back in his holster and got in his truck and left without saying anything. And about that time, another cop turned into the driveway from the other side, and he just kind of went past me and kept going. So I know that was his backup. And yeah, I don't think I breathed the whole time. I don't think I like even breathed. I was like petrified. I thought I was going to start a whole new movement, you know. the white old lady lives matter movement. Yeah. So that's my story. I'm going to have a cigarette. And you guys need to come up with a different topic because this is not story time with Punchy. Bob's going to be like, you must have looked sketchy even back then. I know I'm really sketchy looking, Bob. Okay, you get, just for Bob, we're going to look at the rice fish while I have a cigarette. Just for Bob. Because Bob loves the rice fish. I got to get them a little bit of food. Yeah, he wants to see me feed the rice fish. He told me before this stream started, he said, Pam, I really, really want to see your rice fish tonight. Can you please feed them for us? So I did, because, you know, everybody likes Bob. I don't want to disappoint him. Hi, Carson. Okay, what did I miss? Let the torment begin. Oh, yeah. White old lady lives matter. Yep. Those are the Daisy's rice fish, Ty. And yes, that is Tetra extra large color. But what I do with it because rice fish are little, is I put it in a pepper grinder. So I just gave him some out of the pepper grinder. And Carson saying hello to everybody. As long as we don't have to watch while you smoke a curtain. Oh, God, Bob, I love you. Okay, what are you going to try again, Granny? Did we miss something that you said? Yeah, the pepper grinders work really good for the little tiny fry. Ty, what I do is I'll take the pepper grinder and feed like the rice fish and some of the medium-sized fish. And then I'll take the pepper grinder and I'll just tap it on the side of the tubs with the fry in them. And just nothing but powder comes out that way. It's like the powder that sticks on it when you're grinding it. So that works pretty good for frying. Okay, what am I missing? Yeah, the guppies, raspberries, and white clouds all would like that too. Yeah, Carson's going to try not to say anything embarrassing. Good luck with that. Oh, you hope to turn it around. Oh, God, too funny. You need to hear the story about something dumb. Carson had a typo last week, Ashley. And I guess he said that he wanted to date me. Oh, my God, that's so funny. Hi, Jeremy. We're talking about Carson wanting to date me. He erased it so fast. Oh, dear. Oh, Carson, that was pretty funny. Oh. I bet his whole face turned bright red. If he asked me the prom, will I accept? I could go as like a guardian, I guess. Oh. Oh, God. What if he was serious? Yeah, right, Frank. How old are you, Carson? Like 14? I think he's 14 or 15. Did you have your birthday? 14, see? I could just go as a nice old lady. Yeah, right. Your birthday's in May, okay. um, Jeffro's birthday is tomorrow. Thank you, Alluring Bettas. Seems like something I would do. Oh. Oh, that's right. Yep. Yep, you did call me a man. I remember that. Yep. But I'm not going to mention any names. Hi, Pond. And Bob. That's not your name. Your name is Jay, isn't it? But I don't know for sure. Candy's probably going to figure out who this was, but somebody on one of his live streams kind of chewed me out a bit because I subbed to him during the live stream, and he was a little bit, not bad, but a little bit chewing me out, saying that he was one of my first subscribers. And then later on in the live stream, he called me a guy. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, so you may have been one of my first subscribers, but you've never watched anything I've done, obviously. It was kind of funny. He called me bro. See, Candy knows who I'm talking about, don't you, Candy? I was like, okay. I just got chewed out a little bit, and he's obviously never watched one single thing I've done. Uh-oh, Pond, don't say anything. And Jesse, don't say anything. Yeah, that was funny. But he kind of caught himself on that one, or I caught him on that one. I didn't say anything, but yeah. And actually, I had thought I was subscribed to him already, but evidently I wasn't. Where is Jeff Rose? Yep, Bonnie must have him locked in her closet. Kendall is married, so no ideas. Kendall who? You call everybody bud, but that's kind of a male term, and there's a lot of females. Oh, okay. Gene Bob around a Power Ranger. That's too long. You're going to have to shorten it. Hey, Haley. Are you still at work? Hey, when is Lucas leaving for Oregon or Washington? I guess he's going to Washington. I was kind of tomorrow, okay. I was kind of halfway worried that Haley might be wanting to stream with his wife, and I don't want to interfere with that. Well, I wouldn't. Everybody'd go over to watch because that's going to be a blast to watch. Oh, Lucas left before you got to work? Okay. Yes, Bob is a troll. Big time. See, the rice fish are pretty. I don't know why Bob hates the rice fish so much. Look at those pretty lamp eyes. And the males are blue and the females are the orangish color. They're pretty little guys. You missed storytelling, Haley. You're lucky. I told I think 3 different stories tonight. but not 3 hours. Oh, I know. I'm going to finish my coffee, then I'll put the camera back. But would you rather, honestly, Bob, would you rather look at me than the rice fish? Come on now, be honest. It was more like 7 stories. I did not tell 7 stories. I just told a couple. Hi, Teresa. Hi, David. Oh my God, do you guys want to hear a really hilarious story? See, Haley wants to hear a story. Okay. Frank doesn't want to hear it. You can step away from your computer for a while, Frank. That's perfectly acceptable. This is something that happened when I was a deli manager at a Safeway store in Portland. And there was this guy that I worked with. Well, not in the deli. He was a checker. He always worked early in the mornings, and I always opened in the mornings. And his name was Nick. And you haven't heard the deli story, Bob. Okay, Bob, if you think you've heard it, you finish telling it. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Caught you, didn't I? Anyway, this guy's name was Nick. And he was a little short guy, and he was a retired kindergarten teacher. And the crew in that store, we always joked around with each other all the time. But Nick was one of these guys, he would laugh, but he never, ever, ever said anything off color. Never. He was really sweet. So, oh yeah, you did miss that one. Okay, so anyway, so Nick told me at the time we had those packets of Boyd coffee that are pre-measured, and you just pour them in the pot. And I'd brew them up, and then I'd pour them into these air pots. And we just had these big, tall air pots that said Colombian coffee on them. And we just made the one kind of coffee at the time. This was years ago. So anyway, so Nick told me that he would like his coffee in the morning a little bit stronger than what the packets made. So I started making him pots of coffee. I would make him a pot of coffee that was like a packet and a half of coffee. So it was stronger, and then I'd make a regular one. But we had 3 air pots. So I had to do something to show him which air pot was his with the stronger coffee. Am I boring everybody? Anyway, so I took a Sharpie, and where it said Colombian on the air pot, I put a heart on each side of it. And I showed it to him. I said, this is going to be the air pot with a stronger coffee in it. Oh, thank you, Bob. So, right, so I did these hearts on the air pot. So this one morning, I made the 2 pots of coffee, and Nick was checking, and he was across the store from me. And I stepped out of the deli, and we just opened up, and there was about 6 customers standing there. And I held up the 2 air pots, and I looked over at Nick, and I said, Nick, your coffee's ready. And he looked up, and he said, and he's yelling us across the store, he says, is it the one with the heart on? And that was it. He yelled across the store, is it the one with the heart on? And oh my God, I froze. It was like somebody gave me Christmas present all at once. And then the customers burst out laughing, and he's over there turning bright red, and he says, no, I said heart on it. I said heart on it. Oh my God. And I looked up and I said, it's okay, Nick. Everybody knows that you like a good stiff cup of coffee in the morning. So that was that story. I had ammunition for teasing him for a year afterwards. Okay, Haley, drive home carefully. So I'm going to have one more cigarette and then I'll take the camera off the rice fish. Bob's speechless. Did I offend you, Bob? I'm so sorry. Yeah, finally, Candy. Oh, God. Haley, don't leave me. Yeah, Bob, tell us a story. You probably got better ones than I do. I she's bettas. You have no stories to tell. Sure you do. I know you do. You got to. You can't get to be as old as you are without having any stories. Your memory's wiped clean. Oh, okay. It was the rice fish, huh? Oh, see the eggs on the one? Can everybody see the eggs the one's carrying? Did you guys see that? Look at the eggs on the one just leaving the screen. She's carrying eggs on her tail. There she is. See her? See the eggs by her fins there? They carry them around for a while, then look for a place to deposit them. Yeah, it is cool how they carry the eggs. It is really neat. I'm glad that we got that on camera. She's up by the top now, just carrying her eggs around. Hi, Flynn. You're going to need me to point. Just watch the screen, and you'll see one with a bunch of bubbles on her bottom. Right there. She's right there at the top right now. Oh, and she just went out of sight. Let me see if I spot her again. She'll come down again. But anyway, yeah, the females carry the eggs around for a while. Then they'll find a good plant and put them on the plant. There she is. She's right on the right-hand part of the screen right now, or left-hand part. I think you guys are backwards from what I'm looking at. They're fertilized before, and then she gets them fertilized, and then she'll pack them around until she finds a plant that she likes, and then she'll deposit them on the plant. But if you watch, actually, you'll see one that looks like there's a bunch of bubbles on her bottom, and that's the eggs. She's not in sight right now. Usually they do it early in the morning, so that's why I was kind of excited when I saw her with the eggs, because usually you see them like that in the morning. Okay, well, we shall see you later, Shishi. Have a good night. A bubble butt, yep. You heard laughing? Oh my God, I've been telling stories, Corey. You don't want to hear my stories. Hi, Merritt. And Bob's trolling everybody. See, Bob says you don't want to hear my stories. And we were looking at the rice fish because one of them is packing around eggs right now. But she's not in the screen right now. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. I think this week I'm going to ship some to Candy. And then HC Aqua is going to get some, and Carson's going to get some. And then I have a bunch more babies and some tubs in the other room. I started out with 6, but I've got a lot now. There's the one with the bubbles, the eggs. When do you get your barbs and the Farlowellas, Bob? I'm thinking about shipping them this weekend because we're having a little bit of warm weather coming up, like in the upper 30s and 40s. So if you want to send me an email and we'll figure out exactly what you want, then I'll try to get them shipped this week. Oh, nice. I want to try to raise some bettas. I haven't yet. I'm looking for, yeah, that's dwarf sag. But I want to do some betta breeding, but I want to find the male to go with, the perfect male to go with the females that I have. Where's this mystical bubble butt? She's right in the middle of the screen, right there. She's right smack in the middle of the screen. See the little eggs on her back end there? They're kind of shining in the light. I know, good luck finding the perfect male. Well, I've got 2 Dumbo females that I really like. And what I want to try to find is a really nice white or off-white Dumbo-eared male. There she is. See, she's right up by the top. See the bubbles on her back end? Those are eggs that she's carrying around. Two huge spawns. Yeah, I really want to try to do some bettas. Right now I've got a bunch of little tiny rice fish that I'm raising up and some little tiny cories, but I want to do some bettas. We need another story. I don't know what else to tell you. Give me a subject and I've probably got a story because I'm old, you know. But anyway, yeah, that's what I want to try to find is like a white Dumbo-eared male, a nice one. Is the fish's soul in the egg or male secretions? I don't know. Yeah, I think they usually have they seem to carry around anywhere from, I think the most I've seen on them is like 6 or 8 on the bigger ones, and then they'll find a place to put them. Carson's most embarrassing moments on Pam's streams. That would work. That would work. Best time in my first car. I am not going to tell you guys any of those stories. No. What are all the night owls still doing up? This is what we do during I always have late night live streams, and we always sit here and tell stories and laugh. Okay, that sounds really good, Sushi. You don't mean dirty? Well, that's just the first stories of my cars that come to mind. Oh. 3 hours to go? No, not 3 hours. Oh, my cats want in. I'll be right back. I got to go let the cats in. They're banging on the door. Come on, Mario. Are you coming, Woody? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come on. I know, that's what I always say. I always say that I don't even know how long it's been now. See, it's only been 49 minutes. Oh, it's not -7 tonight. It's in the 20s tonight. It's going to warm up for a little bit. That's why I say, Bob, if you want to send me an email with what you want, and I'll give you prices. And I think the best bet, because the Farlowella fry, I hate to see them go without food for very long. I think the best bet might be to ship them overnight, which is going to be kind of spendy, but that's up to you. But the eggs are on the bottom of her body. You still haven't seen it, Ashley? I can't really point because the camera's not by me. But let me see if I see her. I don't know how you're missing it because the eggs are like big and shiny. They're on the booty, yep. But anyway, the farlowella, they don't store a lot of fat because they're kind of skinny little fish, and then the males really eat a lot. I mean, the babies really eat a lot. So if you want some of the farlowella fry, I think we're gonna have to do them overnight to be safe. Good night, alluring bettas. Okay, so anybody else have anything exciting going on? How many more hours do you need to watch this tank? Oh, Bob, I can move it, but I thought it was kind of cool because the one female's got eggs. But what can I say? What can I say? All the hours, yep. Oh, that's right. You're like daylight there, aren't you, Pon? And it's nighttime here. Oh, you have some more farlowella eggs? Cool. I've got some more babies growing up. Like they're only like a 1/4 inch long right now. And then I've got some that I'm going to go ahead and sell that are big enough to sell. I wonder if that female later like put her eggs somewhere already because I don't see her right now. You're just pretending to see them. Oh no, you keep getting timed out. That's probably why you're missing the female. Let me drop a little bit more food in that corner and see if she comes back over. There, she's right in the camera. I just saw her. Just watch the group of fish there and look for one with kind of a bubble butt. Let me see if I see her in the camera. I just saw her in the tank when I was standing over there. She still hasn't dropped the eggs yet. Yeah, the shrimp are mostly just like coals, but there's some pretty ones. Lots of blue and black and stuff. Yeah, that shrimp's going to grab a piece of food from the fish. Fish porn tonight? I don't think so. Look at all the blue eyes in the grass there picking up that food. I know, huh? They're all buried in the grass. Oh dear. I'm good at that. Okay, you have a good day at work, Pon. Thanks for stopping by. Oh goodness. Yeah, they're all like way down in the grass now. I should have put in some microworms because they float better and the fish like would be up higher. Have a good one, Pon. Yeah, I kind of blew that. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, I'll finish the cigarette and I'll put the camera back on me. Oh dear. Okay, so what do we want to talk about now? Yeah, I Jeff rode that one up totally. Totally Jeff rode that one up. Well, I did have the extension on the camera so I could put it on another tank, but when I switched streams, I took the extension off, so you're stuck with that one. Or me, one or the other. First tank ever story. Oh, what did I get? I had a 10-gallon. I bought a 10-gallon tank when I was about 13. It was one of the metal framed ones. And I just had your basic, like, Noah's Ark of fish that I messed up on a lot of them. And yeah, just your normal kid who doesn't know what they're doing. And then I got it. It was like a community tank, and I added a molly. And the next day it had ick. So I got some of that methylene blue to treat it with. Because you got to realize this was 50 years ago. This was like 50 years ago, and there wasn't all the medications and stuff that we have now. So the pet store told me to treat it with methylene blue. And every damn fish in the tank died except for that molly. So that was my first tank. Bob, I have never told anybody that. That was my first tank. Now ended up after a while, I took the molly back to the pet store, and I got 2 beautiful angelfish. Oh my God, they were so pretty. They were black veil angelfish, and they had super, super long fins that looked like lace. I've never seen any like that since. And I had them for a long time. I used to, I was in Scappoose, Oregon, is where I grew up. And I would go outside with a fish net after it rained and would have these puddles of water sitting in the driveway. And I would go out with a net and scoop up mosquito larvae. And those angelfish would eat so many mosquito larvae that their little bellies would be sticking out. It was funny, but they were really beautiful fish. I had them for quite a long time. And then after I graduated and stuff, I didn't have any fish tanks for a while. And then when I got fish tanks again, I kept fancy goldfish like orandas and stuff. And I had about 7 20 longs, and I had like 2 fish in each one of them. And I was like really into the fancy goldfish for a while. And then after that, let's see. And then I started getting a little bit back into tropical fish again. I remember one time Corey would like this. He's probably not still here. But I decided to get a few tropical fish to mix in with my fancy orandas. And I got 10 neon tetras. Corey did this too, I know. But I didn't get 100. I got 10 neon tetras. And I put them in, and they look so pretty with the fancy goldfish. And my ex-husband got home from work, and I said, come look, I got some neon tetras, and put them in with the goldfish. They look so cool. And we're like looking, and we can't find any. I mean, none of them. I couldn't find any of them. And finally I spotted one that was kind of back behind the heater. And I said, look, there's one of them right there. And the goldfish ate it. And I was like, oh, that was the last one. So yeah, I did that too. You had goldfish and neon tetras? Didn't work for me. And Bob, at the time, he was not my ex-husband. At the time, he was my husband, okay? But yeah, I did that with the goldfish and the neons. The neons were kind of an expensive little snack for the goldfish. It's been about 6 years since. I love goldfish. And towards the end, one of the last goldfish that I bought was a pearl scale, and I'd never seen one before. And I absolutely fell in love with that fish. So Like, that's been a long time ago since I had goldfish. And when I started getting the multiple tank syndrome here the last couple years, I decided that I was going to get some pearl scales. So that's why I have my 40-gallon with my pearl scales, because I love the pearl scales. Koi are pretty cool, but I don't have a big enough tank for koi, and I don't have a pond, so I go with and the pearl scales are so fat and cute. I love them. I didn't see what Candy deleted there. Ah, okay. So anything else you guys want to know? You had goldfish and red rose minnows. I think they're a little bit bigger than the neons are. Hi, Ron. How are you? Okay, Carson. I'll see you later. She said worse to me. Yeah, but it's my stream, Bob. I can say what I want. Oh. The buddy story. Which buddy story? Everybody's saying later, Carson. Oh, did I tell you guys about when I had tubifex worms? I think I've told this on a couple live, or not my live stream, but I think I've told it on a couple streams before. I don't remember if I told you guys this on the live stream or not. Have I told you about the tubifex worms? They used to sell like tubifex worms in the fish stores, and tubifex worms, I don't know if you can even get them anymore. They're not quite. Oh, Bob, shut up. No, not on spaghetti. No. The tubifex worms are kind of like black worms, but a little bit different. And when you get them, they like come in a ball, and they're kind of nasty. No, they were live, but they're kind of nasty because they get them out of sewage and stuff. So when you get them, I forget exactly what I put in the water with them, but you put something in the water with them that kind of purges them, and you got to keep them in the fridge, and you purge their inside so they aren't full of crap, basically. And then you drain their water a couple times and keep purging them, right? And they form this like loose type ball. They're like this ball of worms. They're kind of nasty and kind of a dark red. And anyway, so I had some tubifex worms in the fridge. I don't know if they're the same as black worms or not. They might be the same thing. They're kind of a dark reddish color, but they used to sell them as tubifex worms. But anyway, I had a bowl in the fridge with this ball of tubifex worms that I was purging for my fish. And the kids were at school, and I decided to make some Jell-O for dessert for dinner. So I made some green Jell-O, and I put the big tray of green Jell-O in the refrigerator underneath the bowl with the tubifex worms. And when I went to get the Jell-O out, the ball of tubifex worms had rolled themselves out of the bowl and dropped into the Jell-O, and then the Jell-O like firmed up around them with this. Yeah, it was really nasty looking. I mean, it was really nasty looking. It was like I threw it out before the kids got home from school. But I couldn't eat green Jell-O for years. It was pretty nasty. And then, like I say, they'd kind of like fallen in and spread out, and then the Jell-O firmed up around them. No, Jesse, there's not always room for green Jell-O. Lime or pashy, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. That That was before Rapashi. Maybe that's how they got the idea for Rapashi. Oh, good, you saw her? Nice. No, I didn't see the cockroach milk thing. I saw Jeffro's post about it, and I was gonna go look, but I didn't yet. That doesn't sound very good either. I'll have to go and read that. I haven't read it yet. Cockroach milk does not sound good. Bill Cosby and those Jello pudding pops. Yeah, this was not the best Jello. So anyway, after I had goldfish for years, and I already told you guys about when the tank broke, so I'm not going to tell you that. And then I think the next big tank, I got like a 75-gallon tank, and I had it for several years, like 2 or 3 years. I had discus in it, like a planted tank with discus and some rummy nose tetras and some neons. It was a really nice tank. And then that was when I lived in LA, and when I moved, I broke it down. And then when I moved to I don't know what Buddy's story. When I moved to Montana, I set it up again, and I had angelfish and rummy nose tetras and all that stuff. And it was a beautiful tank until I was at the fish store one day, and they had this blue lobster thing. And I asked them if it would do good in a planted tank with a bunch of little fish, and they said, "Oh yeah, it'll do good." Well, the damn thing like destroyed my plants, digging holes and caves all over. And one morning I turned on the lights, and the damn thing had a rummy nose tetra in one claw and a neon tetra in the other claw. So yeah, don't get one of those blue crawdads and put it in your planted tank, because that's just not good. Okay, so what's everybody else talking about? The new superfood, cockroach milk. Ugh. I love rummy nose, Ron. That's like, I don't have any right now, but I think they're my favorite tetras. They're just so cool. To me, they look like the old B-52 bombers with the gray and then the checkerboard on the tail and stuff. Oh, Bob. But the thing is, you have an option. You either have the tank with the rice fish, or you have me. And I think the tank with the rice fish is a lot more interesting to watch instead of watching me talk. Rummy nose actually like softer water. They do. I don't know how well they would do in hard water. In LA, we had really, really hard water, like liquid cement. But there's water stores everywhere in LA, and I used to go and I'd buy gallons of water and do their water changes with the water from the stores instead of using the hard water out of the tap. So it was pretty soft. I think I mixed in, like, for every 10 gallons of RO water, I'd mix in like 1 gallon of water from the tap. But the water there was really cheap, and there was water stores on every corner because nobody drank the water out of the tap because it was just nasty. Yeah, if you have an RO unit, go for it. Rummy nose are really cool. Yeah, right, Priscilla. Oh. Look at those pretty rice fish. How can you hate the rice fish, Bob? I do not understand. They are so cute. And see, I can see bubbles on one of them. I think there might be more than one in there with eggs on them right now. See, he's running away. You guys scared him off. He's running out to his porch now. Shame on you, Priscilla. Oh. See, the size that they are now, they're just, even the little ones are almost grown candy. So when I send them to you, you could probably get some eggs from them right away, because even the little ones are getting big enough to start having a few eggs. Because I know I had even some that were even smaller that I was raising in a 5-gallon tank. And when I moved them out and put them in with the adults, about a week later, there was baby rice fish in the 5-gallon. So they can breed when they're pretty small. They were probably a little bit smaller than the smaller ones are now in there. So yeah, you could totally get some babies out of them right away. Yep, fish folks are all about breeding. That's it. It's like any fish I get, I try to breed it. I'm trying to catch in one of the 10 gallons. I have a bunch of baby, young drake fin barbs, and they're harder than hell to catch. I want to try to catch all of them and get them out of there. And I'm going to put some ember tetras that I've got in there and let them lay eggs, and then move them out and see if I can raise some ember tetras just for the heck of it, because that's what I like to do. '80s porn tunes? I don't think so. Oh, your 10-year-old dog Marley? That's how old Buddy is. He's 10 years old now. Yep, Priscilla, that's what we do the best. We troll the trolls. Where did Bob go? He said he was going to step out on his porch and see if he left his refractor out there. I think he ran away from you, Priscilla. You scared him off. Poor Bob. Yep, he got scared. We were just too much for him. It is an art form. Yep. He's guarding the bridge. Oh my God. You guys ever see Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the troll at the bridge? Where he says, "Answer me these questions 3." Yep. What is your favorite color? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European? Why? I don't know. Ah! Yeah, I mean blue. I love that movie. That's like my favorite movie. I like Sir Galahad in the castle. I can handle a little peril. Please, can I have a little peril? What is it? Yeah, what is everyone's favorite movie? Monty Python and the Holy Grail is definitely up there on my list. And I've got a new favorite, but it's probably not. It's probably close to the Monty Python one. Has anybody seen Lake Placid? The first one with Betty White? Oh my God, that's a hilarious movie. That movie is so funny. The Killer Wabbit. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Up in Smoke. Oh my God, yeah, that was a good one too. Do you have your license? Yeah, it's right back there on the bumper. Yep, that's a good one. When I was a kid and that movie came out, I was watching it. My dad was watching it with me, and my dad was cracking up. I mean, like totally cracking up when he watched Up in Smoke. Like, I have not seen The Hogfather. Jaws, nah. I like comedies. Comedies are the best. The Life of Brian is pretty good too. And yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is a good one. The first DVD I bought was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I had it on VCR. And of course, VCRs went out, and I saw it, of all places, in the grocery store on a DVD. And I snatched it right up. I also like The Princess Bride. From Dusk Till Dawn. That's a strange movie, Priscilla. That's a strange one. Bad Grandpa. I didn't see that. I haven't seen a lot of the newer movies because I just don't watch movies anymore. So my favorites were all older ones. Grumpy Old Men was good. From Dusk Till Dawn is one of those that's just kind of like, that was just a strange movie. Just an all-around strange movie. Young Frankenstein. Yes. I love Young Frankenstein. That's one of my favorites. Pulp Fiction was another strange one. Those are both by the same guy. What's his name? Michael. What is his last name? Trevino or something like that? Pulp Fiction and From Dusk Till Dawn were both his movies, and they're both strange. All of his movies are kind of strange. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. He played Tarantino. Yeah, he played the crazy brother that killed the bank lady and stuff in From Dusk Till Dawn. That was him. But all his movies are rather strange. Animal House was good. And Better Off Dead, I didn't see that one actually. Waterboy was good. 37 I never saw. Okay, Jesse, put the kids to bed. Yeah, the old movies are good. Young Frankenstein was really good though. And I love the guy that plays in that, which just like zipped right out of my mind. Oh my God, what is his name? My mind just went blank. He was in Young Frankenstein. He was a cowboy in Blazing Saddles. And he was Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. What is his name? Gene Wilder, yeah. Gene Wilder was great. He was really great. And he did a movie one time that most of you probably haven't seen, but it was called The Frisco Kid. That was a really good movie. It was him and what's his name? George Harrison. It was a really good movie. Gene Wilder was great. I like almost all his movies. Mrs. Doubtfire, that was pretty cute. That was a cute movie. Mrs. Featherbottom. Throw Mama from the Train. I didn't watch the whole movie. It wasn't bad though. Have any of you ever watched Lake Placid with Betty White? See, I like comedies, so. When Lake Placid came out, I was living with Megan's dad, and he liked horror movies. So he got we bought Lake Placid to him thinking that it was going to be a horror movie. And I was sitting through it because I don't like horror movies. And I was just kind of sitting there and it started. And oh my God, that is a fantastic movie. And I was laughing so hard. It's really a good movie. I haven't seen the Bird Box either. Why were I living with her dad? Because that's what I did. I got a divorce and then I lived with him for a while and had Megan. I had my 3 other kids when I was married to their dad, and then Megan's got a different dad than my other 3 kids. Hello, Sir Pranalot. Hi, Fantastic Hobbies. Betsy Wetsy. Father of the Bride. I don't like Steve Martin, but I watched part of Father of the Bride, and my favorite scene in that was when the lights go out and he goes back in his sister's bedroom to find the flashlight, and it's just like a black screen, and then you hear this brrr motor starting up. Oh God, that was funny. But as a general rule, I'm not really fond of Steve Martin. Although I did like Steve Martin when he played the straight guy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah, his sister was telling him that the flashlight was in her top dresser drawer, and all you hear is this brrr. It was pretty good. The Fifth Element was a good movie. Yes, I agree. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was a good movie with John Candy and Steve Martin. But Steve Martin played the straight man in that one. But that's a good movie. And Uncle Buck, oh my God, that's a good movie too. That happened to you? Oh no. Oh. Years ago. Hi, Angela. Years ago, you guys want to hear a story about years ago? Years ago, I had we lived on a ranch and we had a bunch of horses and stuff. And the horseshoer was always trying to get me. He was always trying to embarrass me, but I'd always one up him anyway. But him and his wife invited me and my ex-husband, and Bob, he was my husband at the time. Just to clarify that before you say anything. He invited us up to a cabin up in the mountain for the weekend. So it was going to be like this getaway. I found babysitters. I had 3 kids, and I was going to invite, or I found somebody to watch the kids, and it was going to be this romantic getaway, right? I had no idea what the cabin was like or anything. So a friend of mine brought over a care package before I left. And it had like a sexy nightgown, and it had a vibrator and some other stuff in it, right? So we get up there, and it was a no-go because it was a one-room cabin with a bed and then a fold-out couch. So there was no sexy nightgown or anything like that. It was still a lot of fun, but no sexy nightgown or anything. And it had, the cabin had a stove with 2 of those propane bottles outside. And it was snowing up there and stuff. So anyway, so the last day we were getting ready to go home. The last morning. Hi, Turtle Girl. Oh my gosh. Maybe with kids in here, I shouldn't tell this story. You guys think I shouldn't tell this story? It's just a short story anyway. Anyway, so we're getting ready to go home. And I was packing up my clothes. And the Jim, the horseshoer guy, he was in the kitchen. He was getting ready to make us some breakfast. And he started cussing, and he said, "We're out of propane. What are we going to do now for breakfast?" And I pulled out that vibrator, and I turned it on, and I said, "Scrambled eggs?" He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just did that." Oh. So yeah, that was a short story. Hi, Joel. I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, I'm savage. Oh, you missed some good ones earlier, Joel. You'll have to rewatch the beginning if you want to hear stories, because I did tell some stories tonight. I'm sorry. Tonight was kind of a story night. Good night, Dan. You told him already? Oh no, Candy. uh, I do tell stories sometimes. But heck, you just got to go with the flow. If you don't like stories, there's always an exit button, right? Oh yeah, that's from Uncle Buck. I love that movie too. Uncle Buck was a good movie. Stop with the disclaimers. Well, I guess old people tell stories. Yeah, Uncle Buck would have to rate up with one of my favorite movies. And The Princess Bride. I love The Princess Bride too. If I'm going to watch a movie, I want to laugh. Bob, you hush. Inconceivable, yes. This word, I do not think you know what this word means. Yeah, yeah, that's the same kid. Yep. But that car that he drove at Uncle Buck, oh my God, I've had cars like that. My whole life, I've had cars like that. Good night, Jess Shrimp Granny. Thank you for coming by. See you next week, I hope. Okay, somebody's got to come up with a subject before I come up with a story. It's a lot about the nightmare about rice fish. Yeah, when the first Pirates of the Caribbean came out, Priscilla, I was working at Disneyland, and I worked the grand opening where they had like they closed half of Disneyland and rolled out the red carpet for all the movie stars. And then they had a great big screen on Tom Sawyer's Island, and they had like benches set up on the other side for all the movie stars to sit. I worked that night. Saw a lot of movie stars. I saw him, but he was like Johnny Depp, but he was totally surrounded by bodyguards. There's a story from that night, too. Do you guys want to hear a story from that night? The night that I worked the Pirates of the Caribbean? It's kind of a semi-adult story, too. Nah, Frank, well, close your ears. Bob says, oh, God. Okay, good night, Turtle Girl. Yeah, then I'll tell a story. Oh, okay, I already told it. Teresa says I already told it. I was going to tell the shirt story, but Teresa's already heard it. So you're in luck, Bob. I must have already told that one. Maybe I told it during one of Mark's streams. Someone banned Teresa. Oh, I think I did tell it like, yeah, my whole life is a rated R movie. That's actually the truth. That's the truth, Frank. Okay, so I'll tell about working at Disneyland. When I worked at Disneyland, the beginning of every week, I would look at the schedule and see where I was working. And then I would go over to the costumes department, which is behind the scenes. That there was like a whole town behind the scenes at Disneyland that you can't see when you're visiting the park. That was for all the employees. But they had a costumes place where you'd go and get your outfits for the week and sign up. You know, you sign out for them. You know, you pick up what you need and then make a list and you'd sign out for them. So, anyway, so I saw that I was signed up to work the special event, which was the Pirates of the Caribbean. So I was getting my outfits, but they didn't have it yet. The guy told me they didn't have them yet. They'd be coming in on the truck. And this was like Monday, and the special event for it was on Friday, either Friday or Saturday. But anyway, so they didn't have the outfits yet. So I kept checking back during the week as I'd go to work, and they still didn't have it. So the day that the special event was, I went to work like an hour early so I could get my outfit, and they were just unloading them off the truck. And I had absolutely no idea what the outfits were going to be. So I get the outfit, and it's like a pair of pants with a big purple sash, and then like a billowy pirate shirt, a white pirate shirt. But the problem was, I went in to their changing room to put it on, and the shirt, this big billowy pirate shirt, was see-through. And because I didn't have any idea what I was going to be wearing, I had on a black lace bra, and this shirt was see-through. And I also have a tattoo, and with the see-through shirt, my black lace bra and my tattoo showed really bad. So I like folded up my street clothes and I stepped out of my outfit and I've got my street clothes like folded and I'm holding them up to my chest. And I told the kid that was working there, I said, I need a undershirt, a white undershirt. And he's like, no, you don't. You look fantastic. You look really good. And I just lowered my street clothes down. And he looked and he goes, he actually turned red and he says, I'll get you an undershirt. Oh. So that was that story. And I'm sorry, Teresa. I know you already heard it. Yes, Ashley. Answer your question, yes. Unfortunately, yes. I remember when I was 18, about 18, I was really shy and a little bit naive. And I stopped at the grocery store and I got groceries. And I had on this t-shirt. That was the Disneyland in California. I had on this t-shirt that with, yeah, I was shy at the time, yes. But anyway, this t-shirt had a 1920 Duesenberg on the front of it, right? And I've always been kind of big busted, and I had this t-shirt on with its car on it, right? And I stopped at the grocery store, and this kid that was checking, he looked up at me and he says, nice wheels. And I said, oh, thank you. And I looked up and he was turning red. And it dawned on me what he'd actually said. And yeah, I was embarrassed. Yes, Bob, you've never heard that. Don't say you have, because I know you haven't heard that. Bob is such a troll. Naive, you call BS? I was at one point when I was young, Candy. No, I didn't tell that. I know I modded him at the time. He was still sweet when I modded him. And then he changed. It's like he got the wrench and it changed his whole personality. First commissioned artwork. I think my first commissioned artwork, I was in high school. And one of my mom's friends wanted 2 puppies for her granddaughter for her birthday. So I did 2 puppies, 2 separate drawings, of puppies. That was my first commission. And then the store that I worked at had me like paint their windows for Christmas. And when I got them done, there was about 3 other businesses in town that wanted me to come paint their windows too. So that was probably the first times that I got paid for doing art. You're a bigger troll than Bob. A wench. Asking for a, oh, it's almost wench. Pam is a wrench. Thank you very much, Joel. Okay, I've told too many stories tonight, so somebody else has to tell a good story. Now I want a salad with ranch. Yeah, you turned blue, Priscilla. You need to go worm your dogs. Well, thank you for sharing that, Bob. Welcome back, Jesse. You didn't miss much. Just me telling stupid stories. But according to Bob, they were all stories that I've told before. So yeah. Hi, John. Have some coffee. Oh, coffee. I need to go get me some coffee. Oh, so we can't talk about Bob because he's going to be listening, guys. Remember that. Okay, so I might have told the wheel story before. I'm sorry. Coffee and cigarettes. Yep. That's a good idea, Priscilla. We should have that. We need that. Okay, Ashley. Coffee is always great. Okay, somebody else has to tell a story. It's the rules. Priscilla's got good stories. Priscilla, tell a story. Yes, Priscilla, tell a story. Oh, they do not, Bob. Tell a story about when you were out drinking or something. Tell us one of them. Priscilla's stories always make me laugh. They're sleeping. Yes, it did. Hi, Latoya. I got a car before I got my driver's license. I got my car first, but my driver's license expired, and I drove around for 10 years with an expired driver's license. So I had to go get another one. You picked a fight with a security guard once? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Hi, Sharpies. Oh, Bob, quit being such a troll. What's everyone still doing up? We're waiting for Priscilla to tell us some stories. And hi, Jamie. There's a red shrimp in there. I see a red one. A couple red ones. Priscilla. Yeah, I wouldn't. It was bad. It was different back in 1997. I wouldn't drive. I mean, I get pulled over all the time now. It's something about my old truck. I mean, it isn't even funny. I get pulled over all the time for stupid things, and then they'll see they pulled over an old lady and look at my driver's license and tell me to have a nice day. I got pulled over one night coming back from Cheyenne. It was a really snowy night, driving in a blizzard. Took me forever to get home. And I got off the freeway at exactly 2 o'clock in the morning and pulled out on the main road, and right close to the freeway is the McDonald's, and there was a goddamn sheriff sitting in the parking lot. And I knew he was going to pull me over. He pulled out behind me, of course. And I don't know. I don't know what it is about my truck, but I get pulled over a lot. But anyway, it was cold and it was snowing, and the heater in my truck doesn't work that well. So I had on my stocking cap, which is a Yoda stocking cap with the ears sticking out. And I knew I was going to get pulled over. And he did. He pulled me over. And he got up to the window, and I still had, of course, I was getting off work. I had on my uniform and my name tag and everything. And he wanted to get rid of me so fast because he wanted to get back out on the road and get the drunks coming from the bar, which is what he thought I was. So it was kind of funny. The thing was this was in Wyoming, of course, and I had expired Montana plates on my truck. And he never said anything. Hi, Kevin. Because he was just after drunks. He didn't want nothing to do with my expired plates. First time you rolled a magic cigarette, what are those? You put it in the oven. No, I haven't sent the fish yet, the rice fish, because a water pipe broke in my living room yesterday. And I've been all day yesterday and today cleaning up water, and I still have more to clean up. It was a total mess. It still is a total mess. I still have wet carpet. I've got fans going. I've got a great big vacuum cleaner thing. And yeah, it was a mess because the water pipe broke. When I was making my coffee, I heard spraying sound. And to turn the water off, you have to get underneath the house. And I'm old and fat, and I couldn't do it. So it took me an hour. I called the water department, and they wouldn't come out and help because I live in a trailer court, and they said it's up to the management of the trailer court. And it took me over an hour to find him and get my water shut off. And the whole time the water was just pumping into my living room and kitchen. So yeah, it's a mess. It is a total mess. Yeah, I always turn my faucets on at night. But I didn't that night because it wasn't supposed to get below zero, but it did get below zero. And that's what happened is the cold water froze. And when it broke open, it just broke the pipe. Well, it separated the pipe, and the water went everywhere. Oh my God, Priscilla. Oh no. Oh no. Hi, Slash Master. Oh my God. Oh, that's awful, Priscilla. Yeah, if it's going to get, which it does here a lot, if it's going to get below zero, I turn the faucets on in the bathroom and in the kitchen. Okay, I missed the first part of Jamie's story. I got to scroll up. Oh my God, Priscilla. Oh, I missed it. I don't know where it went. Oh, it's definitely better safe than sorry. I wish that's the only pipe that froze was the cold water going to the kitchen, and that's the one that separated and made a huge mess. And yeah, if it's even going to be, looks like it might get below zero now. I'm going to have to turn them on because oh my God, I've still got soaked carpet. I've got a book. I got to move the bookshelf tonight, and so I can get behind it. And then in order to move the bookshelf, I've got to move 2 tanks, including the one that you're looking at. It was not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. That's why I'm having the stream tonight, because I was going to have it last night. But I canceled it, and then I took today off to work on cleaning this mess up, water mess. So I decided to go ahead and have one tonight. Oh, Kevin, that's nasty. I've never even heard of that. Yeah, last winter there was one night it was 40 below. And the next morning, this kid that lives across the street was knocking on my door. And he asked me, I answered the door, and he's like, "Do you have water?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I don't have any water." And I said, "Did you leave your water running last night?" And he looked at me like I was out of my mind, like totally out of my mind. And he's like, "What do you mean leave your water running?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you have frozen pipes." Yeah, they changed my schedule around. Right now I'm supposed to be working on Wednesday nights, but I took tonight off because I've had such a mess to clean up. Google never lies. I told a kid one time that a box of tampons was like those popping firecrackers. So he kept pulling the strings, waiting for them to explode. uh, you have to grab a shower. Okay. I have to put my coat on because I'm cold. My feet have been wet for 2 days solid now. I've gone through like 10 pairs of socks, and my shoes are wet. And Everything in my world is wet. uh, broken pipes are not fun when they're inside the house, let me tell you. Yeah, Jamie, I agree with you. What was Kevin Googling to find that? Hi, Punchy Lock. I haven't seen you in here before. Thank you for stopping by. Careful you don't get chilblains. I don't even know what those are. But yeah, I've been changing socks constantly, and I'm cold right now just from being wet. He was Googling types of fishes, and it just happened. I know those tampon fish are just really outstanding looking, aren't they? Search engine history is known with Homeland Security. Yep. Oh, goodness. So what do you guys think? Is it time to call it a night yet? Yeah, but it still stays in your computer, Kevin. No? Okay. I'm not tired yet anyway. I was just asking because I don't know if I don't want people to get bored with me. And I've been telling stories all night, so you all might be sitting there like yawning. I know Bob is. Well, that's true, Candy. Yep, they can always leave. The police are scared to check your computer. Yeah. Zebra Daniels are neat, and Molly's nice. Very nice. Are you doing like a little community tank, or you got separate tanks for them? I like Zebra Daniels. They're kind of common, but they're just really neat looking fish. You Google types of rocks. My daughter, my youngest daughter, Megan, she has always collected rocks. She gets excited when she finds, and she knows all about them. She'll tell me what they are. That's true, Kevin. That's true. I don't know that many rocks. It's like most of the rocks in my fish tanks I got out of the McDonald's parking lot. Seriously. Rocks rock, yep. In my storage unit, I want to clear out my storage unit sometime this coming spring because that's one step to setting myself up to going back to doing my art full time. Community tank, yeah, that's going to be cool. But I want to get rid of the $85 a month for the storage unit, so I'm going to empty it out. But in a box in my storage unit, I know I have about 6 or 7 nice chunks of petrified wood that I picked up in Nevada when I was a kid. So I want to get them and put them in one of my tanks. Maybe in one of the new ones I set up because I'm going to be putting up a new shelf with a bunch more tanks. Oh, an Australian family murderer. That's nice. Now what, Bob? I didn't get my gravel at McDonald's. I got river rock at McDonald's. I just like pull through and get a hamburger and then pull off the side and park. And while I was eating my hamburger, I'd get out and kind of eyeball the rocks on the side of the parking lot and grab a couple. Because I'm not much for paying money for rocks. Although, like the dragon stones and stuff are nice, but I'm still not going to pay a whole bunch of money for rocks. A couple of them, I think I went up on the hill outside of town and picked up a couple up there too, but most of them are from the McDonald's parking lot because it's right down the road and they have a lot of big river rocks there. Yeah, cheaper at the stone yard. Yeah. I rock. I take rocks. I always wonder if anybody watched me grabbing rocks and was like, what the hell is that woman doing? Yeah, that's the reason the cop pulled the gun on me. Yep. That was it. He knew I was the famous rock thief. Yep. He forgot. That's a goodbye then, Sharpie. I had that happen. It was one of my 29-gallon tanks. I went to Petco and they had their $1 per gallon sale. And I got a 29-gallon tank and a glass lid for it, which was like $22. Bye, Mason. So I get up to the checkout and the guy was ringing him up and I said, why'd that tank ring up for $32? It's supposed to be $29. And he's, oh, you're right. So he changed it. And I didn't think nothing of it. And I got out to my truck. I loaded it up in the back of my truck. And I was looking at the receipt. And instead of changing the tank to $29, he changed the tank to $3. So I paid $3 for a 29-gallon tank, which was kind of sweet. So that was a pretty good deal on a tank. Yeah. Going to McDonald's to get rocks means something totally different to a cop. Yep. At least I didn't say that I went to McDonald's to get my rocks off. Oh, that's right, Mason. Yeah, I'm going to stream you on Saturday. I almost forgot. Yep, I'll be there. What time are you going to do it? A free female pistol. That's nice. You've been sitting in your apartment making sure no one takes your 135 with them. Boo, isn't it? Yep. Okay, just let me know. Pimafix and Melifix okay for tanks with snails in it? As far as I know it is. The only thing I really know that will kill snails is the Panicure. And it will kill them. And also, I found out hydrogen peroxide will kill snails too. Yeah, I'd take them anyway, Jesse. Heck with them. I was picking up rocks in front of people in the McDonald's parking lot. But like I said, as far as I know, Panicure, as far as I know, those two should be fine. And Melifix, Pimafix and Melifix are both really, really mild. So they're actually like the Melifix is better for a preventative than for an actual cure. So, yeah, probably Bob. Yeah, hydrogen peroxide will kill some plants too. Yep. But yeah, I think both of those should be fine with the snails. Yeah, copper will kill shrimp and snails, but Melifix and Hemifix don't have copper in them, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does have the tree oil in it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Frank, hush. Welcome back, Phoenix. Yeah, it would probably work good for that, because if you got like a real serious disease going on, you don't want to use those two because they're too mild. But as a preventative, to keep them from getting fungusy and stuff, they would probably work real good. And I don't think it'd hurt your snails any. Oh, I used to throw pennies in the tank with my goldfish. But, like I say, my first tank was like 50 years ago. So I guess I could be called old school. Oh, no, I hate it when that happens. I've sucked up babies before. Yep, real, that would work. Good night, Jamie. You grew up on Monty Python. What was that? Monty Python and the Flying Circus. That was a good show. With the parrot with a beautiful plumage. Oh, that's cool, Sharpie. My cat would probably try to eat them, but I always check the bucket after, like, when I clean tanks that got babies in them. I always check the bucket real good before I dump it, because I do suck them up once in a while. You can be super, super careful and keep one eye on the siphon and still find a baby fish in the bucket. There was kind of a purpley shrimp. You got to not pay attention to the comments too much. I had somebody comment on one of my, I forget which video it was. One of them, somebody commented on one of my videos and asked me if Buddy was even my dog. I was like, well, yeah, he's my dog. Why would I put him in my video if he's not my dog? That would be kind of weird. You do a really good job on your tank, so Carson. I really like them. Oh, Kitty guards his little fin buddies. That's cute. My cats drink out of the fish tanks, and they kind of look at the fish like I know they would catch them if they could, but they can't because they aren't going to get wet. Mud skippers are the new black. Yep. Did you put out a new video today, Carson? I was all caught up with videos last night, but I know I haven't checked all of my subscriptions today yet. Yep, puffers are out and mud skippers are in. Actually, puffers will never be out. They're too cute. And mud skippers are too cute too. I'm going to get some mud skippers. You had to go grab a pillow. uh, Baby fish are cute, period. All of them are cute. You should see the rice fish when they're first born. They're like, when they first hatch, they're just like little tiny, tiny things with great big blue eyes. That's how you spot the babies because they're so tiny, but you'd like shine a light in there and you see their eyes glowing. I haven't seen the video yet. Did that video come out today? Because, like I said, I haven't caught up with all my subscribers today or subscriptions today yet. Yep, eyeballs with tails. That's what that. Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. I was all caught up last night, but I haven't. I've got a bunch of them that I got to watch tonight or in the morning that I haven't seen yet. Yeah, a bunch of mud skippers and a 40 breeder would be nice. I've got a 20-gallon all set for them. Well, I don't have it set up yet, but when I get mine, I'm going to have it set up when they're ready to come. Bob's Puffer's a little derby. Bob's Puffers are cute. Both of them, they're cuter than heck. Yeah, is it on Carson's channel or on Jesse's channel? Oh, okay. I'll have to make sure I watch it tonight before I go to bed. Okay. I'll have to watch that. Like I said, I was all caught up last night and I didn't remember seeing it, so I figured it must have come out today. Elvis's lip curl. Oh, there's a red and white shrimp with its little legs going. See, Bob, it's not all rice fish. There's shrimp in there too. And there's a blue shrimp with a black tail. I get some dislikes on my videos now too. I think it's just the way of the world. I put some shrimp in with my pea puffers, some little tiny ones, thinking they'd eat them, and they're still there. They didn't eat them. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Kevin. That's a good point, Jesse. Yeah. Things are quieting down. You guys need to tell some stories. I told too many stories tonight. Bob says I repeated myself. What's wrong with your voice? What is the most I ever paid for a fish or toilet paper? I probably spent more on fish. I don't know how much. I try not to remember how much I spent on fish. I remember one time, and this was like, oh man, 15 years ago, I spent $65 on a discus. So definitely fish. Yep. Candy. Uh, remember, he said he's going to have us on the big screen and he'd be watching. A creepy face? I don't see no creepy face. Forehead and nose and eyes? Huh. Well, don't be creeping me out. The stormtrooper looking thing? It's a ghost in the tank? Huh. I actually lived in a haunted house for about a year. And I was a total skeptic till I lived there for a year. And now I'm not quite a skeptic anymore. But at the time, I didn't tell very many people because I figured they would think I was out of my mind. You have a ghost dog? Yeah, there was a ghost cat. Actually, the first thing that I acknowledged in that house, because I kept ignoring all these things that kept happening. And then one night I just climbed into bed and I heard Mario, Megan's cat. Well, he's my cat, but I heard Mario come in the room and he jumped up on the bed and he was purring. And he walked across the blankets and laid against my legs. And I reached down to pet him. And at the same time I reached down to pet him, it dawned on me that my daughter had Mario locked in her bedroom with her because she always did at night. And my hand touched nothing. And I shot up out of bed so fast and turned on the lights. But it's different when you live in a house like that. You can ignore a lot of stuff. You know, you can say you hear something and it's like you can pass it off as something else. Or you see something and you tell yourself your eyes are playing tricks on you. But when you actually feel something against your leg, that's something that's harder to pass off. So, yeah. But, yeah, so we had that cat. We had the ghost kitty, and he would come in my bedroom all the time at night. And a lot of times I'd wake up in the morning, and there would be purring on the pillow next to me. And I'd roll over and there was nothing there, but the cat didn't scare me. It is real. I believe in it now. But the cat didn't worry me any. There was like it was kind of, the house was kind of divided up into sections with different stuff in it. In the kitchen there was a poltergeist that was always moving stuff. And in the living room you'd see like shadow people all the time. And down the hallway, I don't know what was down the hallway, but it was a real bad feeling. It was like sometimes at night you'd walk down the hallway and it felt like you were like walking through liquid, just like real heavy air. Yeah, things were always disappearing on me in the kitchen. And then they would just show up in weird places. And in the bedroom and the room that I used for a computer room and the bathroom had the cat. Yeah, you can pass off a lot of stuff, but once that happened with the cat, the other thing that was weird about living in that house was I'd lived there for a couple months before the cat showed up. And the cat was kind of like an awakening for me. It was after the cat, I couldn't deny stuff. But at night when I'd go to bed, and this is the only time in my life I've ever done this, I would not go to sleep unless I had the music on my computer, the playlist on, and I would play it fairly loud. And it dawned on me afterwards that the reason that I had the music on is because that house had noises at night. And I wasn't going to, like in my mind, I wasn't admitting that there was noises, but instead I put the music on at night. But there was stuff happened, like one night, a cupboard door in the kitchen slammed violently, and Megan and I both jumped out of bed and met in the hallway. Oh, yeah, right, Kevin. That would be spooky, yeah. But like one night, one morning, I got up and every single cupboard in the kitchen was standing wide open, top and bottom. Every cupboard had been opened during the night. One time, my son and I were talking, and we looked over at the kitchen table, and we watched the salt shaker tip on its edge and hang there for a minute and then rock back and forth until it settled back into place again. Explain that one, Kevin. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it because there are some people just think I'm crazy, but yeah, I definitely did live in a haunted house for about a year. You farted. Yeah. Oh. One day, one of my daughters, Courtney, she lived in Billings, and she came to pick me up because we were going to go shopping and stuff. And so I had a carport, and she was parked in the carport. And we got out to the car, and we got in the car, and I looked up, and there was a shadow of a man crossed in front of the two living room windows, like from one window to the other. And I looked over at Courtney, and she looked at me, and neither one of us said a word. And she backed out of the driveway, and neither one of us said a thing. And we got about halfway to town, and she looked at me, and she said, "You saw that too, didn't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And that's the only thing we said about it. Exactly, Sharpie. Once you start experiencing, I absolutely did not believe in ghosts until I lived in that house. But I know when I was moving out, I was moving this was outside in a little town called Huntley. I don't know if Candy knows where that's at or not. It's right outside of Billings. That's where that house was at. And I was moving to Livingston, and I was making trips back and forth, loading up the back of my truck. And it's about a 2-hour drive. So some nights would have to stay in Livingston because it was too late to drive back home. So I took my bed there, so that when we stayed in Livingston and went back in the morning, we'd have a bed to sleep in instead of sleeping on the floor. And then when we were back in Huntley, I just started sleeping on the couch. Well, the couch was kind of like dividing the living room from the kitchen, and the kitchen was very noisy at night, like very noisy. And I remember laying there on the couch, and I started hearing footsteps in the kitchen, like boots. And I told myself, okay, it's just the furnace clicking off and on. And I like sink into the couch a little bit further, and then I heard like things moving in the cupboards, like dishes rattling in the cupboards. And I'm just like sinking into the couch and pulling the covers up over my head. And this happened for like about 3 nights in a row. And then the next night, there was absolutely no noise at all. The furnace clicked on and off, and there was no noise in the kitchen at all. And actually, that made me feel worse because I couldn't say that the boots walking across the kitchen floor were the furnace, because the furnace wasn't making any noise. And not Nola Jane started this with saying there was a creepy face in the fish tank. So blame her, Candy. Okay, we'll change the subject. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that too, Kevin. But that one house, it was just weird. It was just stuff in the kitchen would move in front of us. One time my son and I were sitting at the kitchen table, and we were bullshitting and packing cigarettes. And when you pack cigarettes, you got this little red packer thing, you know. And we were packing cigarettes, and we stopped and had a smoke, and we're bullshitting, and neither one of us moved. Neither one of us got up. And I went to pack some more cigarettes, and the little red packer thing was gone. It was just gone. It wasn't on the table anymore. And we started looking. We looked on the floor and everything. We found it behind the sugar canister on the kitchen counter. And neither one of us had gotten up at all. So, yeah. And yeah, I have seen ball lightning. That shit is scary. I've seen that before when I lived in Eastern Washington. Move the camera. Where do you want me to move it? Like towards the plants or away from the plants? Yeah, ball lightning is scary. Oh, yeah. I bet you did. Yeah, the living room had we would see shadow figures in there all the time. One time, I had there was a kitchen table, I was facing the living room, and then there was the hallway. And down the hallway, I had my drawings hanging, some of my drawings hanging all the way down the hallway. So there's about 6 or 7 framed drawings hanging in the hallway. And I was sitting at the kitchen table. It was late at night, and I was by myself. Megan was in bed. And I saw the shape of a head, like the reflection of a head in the first drawing in the hallway. And I watched it go from drawing to drawing, on the glass, like the reflection on the glass. I watched it go all the way down the hallway. And the hair was standing up on the back of my neck. I'm going to tell you right now. I was freaked out. I didn't say anything. I just sat there and watched it with I don't think I breathed. I was just watching this reflection of a head going down the hallway in the picture frames. I wanted to take Carson, I wanted to take a a recorder and put it in the kitchen overnight. And my son wouldn't let me. He said, "You have to live here, Mom. You do not want to know what they're saying." He said, "No, just don't do it." So I never did do it. Because we did occasionally hear voices out there. Oh, the other thing that happened that was really creepy was I had music playing on my computer at one end of the house, and I was sitting at the kitchen table. This was in the middle of the night, and there was nobody there. And I had the music playing, and somebody started singing with the music, like just a couple notes off, to where you could hear it separate from the music, was this lady's voice singing with the music. Good night, Priscilla. Sweet dreams. I ain't scared of no ghosts. Yeah, karaoke. Ghost karaoke. Yeah, Sharpie, it got to the point where I mostly didn't pay attention. I mean, I quit paying attention to it unless it was something like really loud, like the cupboard door slamming that night scared me because it was such a violent slam. But most of it, I would just look at it and kind of shrug my shoulders and keep going. I don't think fish do. I think cats do. And this was kind of probably silly of me, but I always felt like the ghost of that cat was protecting me from whatever was in the hallway at night, which I know is kind of silly, but the cat kind of made me feel good. I know I'm weird. I admit it. Well, the Egyptians believed that the cats could go back and forth between the underworld and the real world. I don't know about angels. I believe about anything after that experience at that house. Yeah. Mario used to, like, in my bedroom where the ghost cat was all the time, he would stare and like move his head around like he was watching something. He would do that once in a while. Oh, that's scary reels. But I remember one morning I got up and I'd been turning my son had moved in with me for a little while, and he got mad because I had the music on at night. So I quit listening to the music at night. But then he slept on the couch, and he also complained because the kitchen was really noisy at night. And he said one night someone was like, he was sleeping on the couch and he heard a voice like right over the top of him say hello, and it really freaked him out. But anyway, so I quit listening to the music at night because of him. So I'd turn off my computer at night. And the first thing I always did was I'd get up in the morning and I'd go turn my computer on. And I know it was kind of silly, but I wouldn't sit there and wait for the computer to warm up, because I always had this bad, like, nightmare thought that I would be looking at the blank computer screen and see something reflected behind me. So I didn't want to sit at the computer while it warmed up. So I'd turn it on and then leave the room and get my coffee, then go back and, you know, play on the computer for a little while. So this one morning, to get to where I had the computer room was the add-on room, and it had a cement floor that was carpeted, and it was down a couple steps. I think like 3 or 4 steps you had to go down to get into that room. And I got up one morning and I hit the first step, and the damn computer turned on by itself. And I just kind of froze, and I said, "Thank you." And I turned around and left the room and went and got my coffee. I was like, "Thank you." Bigfoot is really Kevin trolling people. Now that I totally believe. Yes. You once ate a burrito and it had no sour cream. Oh no. Oh, the one that's in the Himalayas, they've actually found like hair and stuff that they analyzed and couldn't find any match for. What is the one in the Himalayas called? It's the white one. I forget what they call it. Yeti. Yeah, Yeti. Yep. There's actually a little bit of proof of Yeti. My dad swears that he was on Mount St. Helens one time. Or no, it wasn't Mount St. Helens, it was Mount Rainier. And he swears he saw a Bigfoot. But it's real wild up there. There's hardly any even logging roads going up that mountain. Yeah, they do have there is a scalp of one that the priests have, but they won't let the scientists take it to analyze it or anything. But yeah, the Yetis, there's been a lot of people have seen them, and they found clumps of hair. I think I read a deal one time where they took like 40 clumps of hair that people had found, and most of them were bear or wolf, or, they could explain most of them, but not all of them. Out of like 40 samples, there was like 3 or 4 that they could not match to anything. Oh yeah, there's got to be things that we don't know about, especially the ocean. I mean, we've hardly even touched exploring the ocean. There's all kinds of stuff in the ocean. But in the Himalayas, it's pretty wild. And even in the Pacific Northwest, like Mount Rainier is not developed at all. It's just too wild. So yeah, there's too many sightings for them not to be there. Oh no, I'm sorry, Candy. Well, I'll tell you, Candy, it was just the one house. The house I live in now is absolutely not haunted. The house I lived in before that was not, in Livingston, was not haunted. It was just that house in damn Huntley. That house was haunted. But it's kind of weird because after a while you just get used to it. And unless it was something like really, really out of the ordinary, it didn't scare me. But yeah. You see creepy faces. Well, quit looking towards Kevin. There have been some things in the house you moved in? Huh. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. There are satellites everywhere and technology. Right. That's very true, Kevin. But if they did spot it, would they tell us? That's the question. Let's all go to Area 51. Yeah. I don't know. All I know for sure that I can tell you because it was personal experience is that house that I lived in was haunted. There was no explanations for the things that were happening in that house. So I don't know about Bigfoot because I've never seen a Bigfoot. I've watched shows on the Yeti and I'm kind of a little bit more believing in that. But I do believe in ghosts now because I lived through being in a house where they were. Until that point, I was kind of pretty skeptical, but after I lived in that house, I now believe in it. Getting a house blessed does not always work. That's right. I believe that there's a lot of stuff that the government is not going to tell us because they think it would cause a panic. So they just are not going to let us know about it. Like UFOs and stuff. They aren't going to tell us about it. Yep, Kevin, I am not a real religious person because there is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of religions, and every one of them thinks that they're right and everybody else is wrong. But I'm not going to get involved in talking about that because I'm going to piss some people off. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. It can piss them off. Now, my son, which some of you will think is kind of weird, but him and his girlfriend, Megan, was staying the night with a friend, and my son and his girlfriend came to visit. And Mario was a kitten then, and he was really, really, really ornery. And my son's girlfriend, who's his wife now, but it was girlfriend at the time, she had on a long dress with lace on the bottom. And Mario got underneath her chair and was attacking her skirt. So Tucker, my son, he picked up the cat and he was going to go lock him in Megan's bedroom. And he got in the hallway and he's got the cat in one hand and he reached for the doorknob and the doorknob turned the opposite way by itself. And my son went after that. He came over the next day and he put symbols on Megan's doorway that were like Viking ruins for protection because it really scared him and he didn't like the thought of Megan being in that room when that doorknob did that. But anyway, sorry. That was another story. I've heard of using salt around the house. I saw a piece of a movie once. I don't remember what it was because I only remember one scene of the movie. It was like with Chevy Chase, and it was something about witches and stuff. And they put like somebody had put like a line of salt all the way around his bed, and he got down on his hands and knees and plugged one nostril and sniffed it all up. And when he raised up, his hair was standing straight out. I still remember that. That was pretty funny. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, if that was your house, you'd move. But I didn't have a lot of money and I couldn't move. That's why my son told me not to because I wanted to put a tape recorder out in the kitchen and my son wouldn't let me do it because he says, you have to live here. And if they say something bad, you don't want to know. So don't put a recorder. Hey, Lunar, we're telling ghost stories. Sorry. Yeah, I totally believe that, Sharpie. That would be a good place for one. Kevin. Uh, yeah, I was telling Lunar, I was telling him about the haunted house that I used to live in, and there was stuff happen there like on a daily basis. So I now believe in ghosts after living there for a year. That's why you have dogs to blame the strange noises on. Yeah, but it doesn't always work. Yeah, my son was walking. There was something not good in the hallway of that house. My son was going to the bathroom one night and he got halfway down the hallway and something grabbed his shoulder from behind. And to quote him, he screamed like a bitch. uh, how did we get on ghost stories anyway? Oh, ghosts, because somebody thought they saw an evil face in my fish tank. I didn't have Buddy when I lived in that house. I had Mario, though. And Mario, sometimes he would be watching things that weren't there. I don't know if she's still carrying around her eggs or if she put them somewhere already. I haven't noticed the eggs on her for a little while. I haven't seen one with eggs. Have you guys? Maybe I'll give them a little bit of microworms and see if there's still eggs on the one. Let me look. I think she deposited them somewhere because I don't see eggs right now. They're all looking at me like, feed me, feed me. Is it still there? Yeah, Pennywise is creepy. I agree with that. Carson. Good night, Carson. Sleep tight. Go to the bathroom before you go to bed. Yeah, I think she's deposited them because I didn't see any of them with eggs now. You're bringing up your nightlight. I'm sorry, Carson. uh-huh. Oh yeah, I see the face now too. Well, don't be loud in the library, Kevin. Yep, you're too big to climb into your parents' bed, and you don't want to. You don't want to say I scared you because they won't let you watch my streams anymore. Okay, somebody changed the subject away from ghosts. We need a funny story, but Priscilla already went to bed. Who else has a funny story? Or it's been almost 3 hours. Are you guys ready to call it a night? Oh, my mind's on ghosts now, Candy, and they usually aren't real funny. Although the poltergeist one in my kitchen was funny. It thought it was funny anyway. The haunted fish tank tales from the wet side. uh, oh, it was fun, except I told too many stories tonight. Caleb would wonder what the hell was going on. Okay, good night, Cindy. Thank you, Lunar. Those are Daisy's rice fish. Have I ever slapped someone? No, I never have. I don't think I ever have. Nope. Mostly I laugh at people. Aw, poor Caleb. No, I've never slapped anybody. I don't remember ever even hitting anybody. You slapped yourself before. Okay. Dang. I don't even want to know how you broke your nose. Ouch. I remember my sister almost hit me one time. She was so mad at me. But I was going to visit my sister, and the sidewalk went right up against her house, and it was just right after dark. And just when I was like by her kitchen window, the drapes started opening. She was opening up the drapes. And like I say, it was dark. And she was opening the drapes. And I smushed my face against the window. And she pulled the drapes open and looked up and screamed and fell against the counter behind her. It was pretty funny. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Your daughter kicked you in the face. Yeah, I've had my kids hit me before when they were little. That's kind of scary, Kevin. And that's pretty scary. Huh. Oh my God, Sharpie. That would hurt, but it's kind of funny. Uh, You're the Lord of Dumb Injuries. Oh. I remember when I was fishing one time with my brother and he went and cast the line and the hook caught my bathing suit, like ripped the whole side of my bathing suit. It's like, didn't get me though, but it ripped my bathing suit. I remember another time I was like 16 and I was water skiing. And you know, when you're water skiing and you wipe out, everything happens really fast and you hit the water hard and fast, right? Well, I was 16 and I was water skiing and my bikini top came off. And I let go of the rope. And I swear to God, it took 10 years to sink into the water. Yeah, Sharpie's got some good stories. You've been hit by cars a lot, Kevin. That explains stuff. That totally explains stuff. Next week I'll have the camera pointed at a different tank for you guys, but I guess I can't add the extension on now because I'd lose the stream. You remember it so there isn't too much brain damage. Remembering it doesn't really say too much though. Ouch. The most painful thing that I had happen was I was walking across the floor. I just gotten out of the shower and I was walking across the floor. We had carpet. I was like 17, maybe 16, 17. And I felt like a prick on my foot. And I sat down and looked at the bottom of my foot, and there was a right behind my big toe, there was a hole with a thread coming out of it, like a threaded needle thread. So my mom took me to the hospital. And when I stepped out of the car, I stepped on the thread and unthreaded the needle. And this hospital was not the greatest. It was in St. Helens, Oregon. And they took x-rays, and here's the sewing needle just right up against my bone in my foot. And yeah, if you've ever had 4 shots of Novocaine in the bottom of your foot, that hurts. And they had to cut the bottom of my foot open all the way to the bone to get that needle. And I was on crutches for about 5 months. So that was not a very pleasant thing. So I am like, my kids laugh at me because I'm super paranoid of needles. If they're going to use one of my needles to sew something, they're going to put it back. Like right back. They are not going to leave it sitting anywhere because I am like super paranoid of needles. Oh my God, Sharpie, are you still alive? Are you like a walking mummy? Ow. That just makes me cringe. Yep. Well, I picture him like totally wrapped up like a mummy. That's not good, Reels. You should check that out. That's like I think diabetes can cause that for wounds not to heal up. But it probably looked good on you, Kevin. Did you get a lace one? Me, I've broken my one little toe so many times that I can't feel it anymore. I mean, I've broken it so many times. And I'll look down once while it'll catch on the carpet, and it'll be at a 90-degree angle from my foot. My little toe, it's like sticking out to the side at a 90-degree angle. And I'll just look at it, I'll go, God, that's gotta hurt. And then I'll just tap it back into place. Because like I say, I can't even feel it anymore because I've broken it so often. Yeah, that's the same thing, Jesse. It's it just, you don't want to see little kids hurting or even sick because you want to take it away. Ouch, Fancy Tails. Oh no. Ouch. I fell off the steps last year when it was snowing and my steps were icy, and I was in a hurry going to work, and I stepped on the top step and slipped and fell all the way down. But I was really lucky because there's like a cement patio thing there to break my fall. Kevin, you were wounded by a potato wedge. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I prefer the ghost stories, guys. You guys are making me cringe and cringe and cringe. I'm thinking I'm going to send some fish to you Friday, Candy, because I don't know what your weather going to be like there. Um, we have got Friday. It's supposed to be 32, and Saturday it's 32, and Sunday it's 42, and Monday 38. Thursday tomorrow it's supposed to be 43, but I work. But Friday's in the 30s, Saturday's in the 30s, Sunday's in the 40s, and Monday's almost 40. So I'm thinking it might be a good time to try. Yeah, so yeah, once they leave here and it's even warmer up there. So even if they spend the weekend in the mail, I think they'll still be okay. And they're kind of fat little guys. I don't think it'll hurt them at all to go a couple days without food, and I'll have a heat pack in there too. So I'm kind of thinking that Friday might be a good day. You have no good poop stories, Jesse? What the hell? Yeah, Sharpies could be totally wrapped up in bubble wrap. Oh, ouch. I think I've still got a couple pencil marks on me. When I was a freshman, I was in track and I was running around the track and I fell and I got a piece of gravel in my knee that's still there. It's like on top of my kneecap and I can like roll it around on top of my kneecap still like underneath the flesh. My kids think it's creepy. But yeah, I still have this piece of gravel that's like on top of my kneecap. Yeah, I think I'll do it Friday, Candy. And like I said, I think I'm not too worried about them being in the mail over the weekend because they're pretty chunky and I don't think it'll hurt them at all. And I'll have a heat pack in there. And the weather's not going to be sub-zero, so I think it's going to be a good time. I'll send you the information on it when I get them sent so you can watch for them. And you can tell looking at them, they're kind of chunky little guys. So I think they'll go without food for a couple days just fine. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. You guys, okay, quit talking about injuries. Oh, yeah, the worm culture. And you want some vinegar eels too? I'll make sure, I'll try to remember to send the worm culture and some vinegar eels too. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that happens to me all the time, not Nola Jane. Oh, I've got lots, Candy. That's no problem at all. Yeah, I'll take. I don't have a washer and dryer. But there's a laundromat just around the corner, so I'll take all my blankets and wash them because they get so covered with dog hair. And I'll take them to the laundromat and wash them, and Buddy's on them right away. After a couple days, it's like I pull my blankets up to my chin to snuggle in, and I take a deep breath and start choking on dog hair. Oh, you haven't lived, Dr. S, until you've like had to take a stick and like clean dog poop out from the treads of your shoes. I've done that more than once. Why did a dog poop on the chair? That's the question. I mean, what the hell, Kevin? I'm lucky because Buddy just absolutely will not go to the bathroom in the house. That's why I don't have a small dog. I have my Buddy because he won't poop in the house. Oh, yeah. Yep. I've been there before, Sharpie. Yuck. Yeah. Nice warm poo between the toes. Oh, I'm sure it's really cold there, Jesse. I feel so sorry for you. Get yourself a big blanket. But good night. We're slowly dropping off people. What do you guys think? Should we call it a night? We're down to 19. 18 when Jesse leaves. How long? Okay. How long have your female guppies produced fry after all the males have been removed? I don't have guppies. I have inlers, but I've heard that they can store the male sperm for a long time. I think it's like somebody in here probably has guppies, but I've heard like 3 months or so. I've heard of people. I remember watching a deal one time where a guy found a female on the floor and he wasn't sure which tank it came out of, so he put it in a tank by itself. And she had fry and fry and fry and fry. Okay, good night, Lunar. Yeah, they'll store for a long time and keep having fry. As I know, when people want to like cleanse their females, it takes a long time. 6 months. Yeah, that sounds like that's probably about right. I have a. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate my cats. Mario just pulled the cat food out of the cupboard and dumped it all over the floor. I don't know if you guys heard that crash or not, but yeah, got cat food all over the floor now because he's a pain in the ass. That was cat food candy. Mario just pulled it down out of the cupboard. He'll scratch and open up the door like the cupboard was shut, and he'll work it till he gets the cupboard door open. And then he just jumped up on the kitchen counter and reached over and grabbed cat food and dropped it onto the floor. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sweep it all up because I heard a lot of cat food hitting the floor. He's a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass, kitty. He probably dumped out the whole bag, it sounded like. Ugh. And the thing is his cat dish has food in it. But, that's not good enough. He's got to get what's in the bag. Yep, it's always better out of the bag. You can pour the cat food right straight out of the bag, but it's still going to be better when it's in the bag. Oh yeah, he'll get into the cupboard. If I always put it up high, because if I put it down low enough, he'll chew the bag open. But this time he managed to reach around and knock the whole bag out of the cupboard. So, and like I say, it hit the floor. I probably got cat food from one end of the kitchen to the other that I'll have to sweep up. And I've had him before, like he'll have a full dish of cat food, and I'll buy a new bag and put it up in the cupboard, and he'll chew the new bag open instead of eating what's already there. Cats are cats. Cats are cats. Well, we're down to 14 people, and it's getting late. So I'm going to say, and we're on 3 hours and 17 minutes. So when it hits 3.5 hours, we'll call it good. So another 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And that's why you don't own cats. Cats are cool in ways, but yeah, cats are very independent, and they can be totally little assholes. Oh my God, do you guys want to hear one more story? That just got reminded me of it with cats. Good night, Teresa. Okay, this is the last story tonight. And we're actually down to like 14 people. People are jumping off of here fast, but I'll tell this one more story. I lived out in the country, and we had a bunch of outside cats. And the kids had gone to school, and my ex-husband was at work, and I'd taken a shower and gotten out of the shower, and I just had a big fluffy house coat wrapped around me. And I sat down in my chair by the fireplace, and I was reading a magazine. And I looked over, and there was a goddamn mouse crawling out of the vents in the fireplace. The little vents that are above the fireplace for air. I watched a mouse crawl out of that vent. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I rolled up the magazine, and I hit the mouse with the magazine. And it dropped down into a wooden box that I had sitting there full of newspaper to start the fire with. And it scrambled underneath the newspaper. So I was like, well, I'll fix you. So I just picked up the whole box, the wooden box. It was like one of those wooden apple crates. And I picked up the whole thing, and I stepped out the front door, and I set the box down, and we had about 5 outside cats. So I was like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And all the cats came running, and they're looking at me meowing. And I kicked the box a couple times, and the mouse was still in there. And the cats are looking at me like I'm crazy, and where's my food? So I was like, well, okay. So I picked up the box, and I turned it upside down to dump the mouse out. And the mouse came running out of the box, ran between my legs, and started running up the back of my house coat. And I screamed, and I whipped that house coat off and was shaking it. And then it suddenly dawned on me that I was standing outside naked, shaking my house coat out. So I was like, I shook my house coat and put my house coat back on real quick and turned around to go in the house. The cats are still standing there meowing like I'm going to feed them. And to add insult to injury, the goddamn mouse ran back into the house. While the cats were staring at me, the damn mouse ran back into the house. Your grandma had a mouse in the living room? Yeah. Oh, okay. So that was my last story for tonight. And there's only 12 people in here to hear about me standing outside naked, so that's good. I select pet. Oh, you just missed a mouse story. Nothing very important. I've got another mouse story, but I'm not going to tell it tonight. I'll save it for next time. If you guys remind me next time to tell my other mouse story. Well, I was watching TV with you. It was keeping you company. Oh, I hate rats. I've got a rat story too I could tell, but I'm not going to tell any more stories tonight because in 8 minutes I'm going to call it the night. Yeah, my daughter used to have rats. They're really smart. Rats are really smart. But like the rats the wild rats, they are not nice. They're just not nice to have at all. That's right. Haley likes rats too. My daughter likes rats. When my daughter gets rats to feed her snake, the baby rats, which I'm surprised she can do because she had pet rats for a long time. But she names them all Timothy. Timothy 1, Timothy 2, Timothy 3. Oh my God, I woke up with a mouse on my chest one time. I threw it across. I grabbed it and threw it, and I heard it hit the wall on the other side of the house. No, rats are not good. I didn't realize you were still here, Joel. I haven't seen you for a little bit talking. Oh, cockroaches. I hate cockroaches. Ugh, yuck. I know I told a lot of stories tonight. I'm sorry. One of the restaurants I worked in one time had cockroaches, and I would get to work like early to open up, and I would put my coat and my purse in the freezer because I did not want to take any of those nasty little things home with me. Cockroaches are nasty. One time in this little one-room cabin I lived in, there was a miller moth beating on the windows, and it was driving me crazy, beating on the windows. And I got up and I tried to catch it, but I couldn't. So I crawled back into bed, and I heard it like hit my blanket, like land on my blanket, big heavy kerplop, So I threw the blanket over the top of it, got out of bed, turned on the light, grabbed the fly swatter, whipped the blanket open, and it was a huge goddamn spider. And I hate spiders. Oh my God, I still remember that. It was a monster spider. Yuck. I couldn't sleep all night. Yeah, cockroaches are nasty. I'd go to that restaurant in the morning, I'd turn on the lights, and there'd be cockroaches on the walls scrambling to get out of the light and stuff. It's like, ugh. The farmers used to come in the morning for coffee, and they would catch them and have cockroach races. I don't like cockroaches, and I absolutely hate spiders. Yeah. And in Texas, Candy, like when I was in California and in Washington, the cockroaches were small. Like not small, but not very big. When I was in Texas, I saw a couple of them, and they were huge there. I mean, they were huge bugs. Yeah, the ones in Washington weren't very big, but they're still like yuck. 2-inch ones, yeah, that's the way the ones in Texas are that big. They're nasty. When I was living in Texas, I mentioned to my landlord that there was a cockroach in the house. And she says, "Oh, no, there's no cockroaches in my house. It's a water beetle." Well, when I went to kill it, it was ducking and running and like avoiding me. And water beetles don't do that. It was a fucking cockroach. And it was a big one. Excuse my language. Oh, yeah, if they fall in the tank, the fish will eat them. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's nasty, Candy. Oh, yuck. Like, say, that one restaurant that I worked at had them, and I would put my coat and my purse in the freezer. But yeah, even like the between the glass of the microwave would have them inside of it. It was just like, ugh, yuck. And I would unlock the door and go in and reach for the light switch, and I would feel them on the wall when I was reaching for the light switch. It's like, ugh, yuck. Or what if it had haunted rats? That would be really bad. Haunted rats, ghost rats. I'm surprised your fish didn't eat them. Basically sanded your hand. Yeah. Oh. Okay, guys, I think it's time to say goodnight. It's 1:45 a.m. here. And I've been on for 3.5 hours. So I think that's good. I gotta go back to cleaning up water shit on the floor. So good night, everybody, and thanks for coming. And I will see you next week. And I'll be shipping some fishies to you Friday, Candy. Good night.